Hello. There may be a requirement wherein several users have to be created, and creating them manually will not be ideal. While we do not support import of user records via CSV, creation of user records via API is there. All right. So based on this documentation from the developer.intact.com, create user, you can create users via the API. So what you can do is that based on this syntax, you can create like an Excel file. So what you can do there is that just copy across the different syntax in there, and I've highlighted in here the columns which are maybe dynamic because these are like unique per user records. So I have here two user records, and column B in here is like the control ID, like test one, test two in this case, and we have the login ID of that user. So I have here API user one, user two. So you can just add more values in there as to the number of users that you would like to create. And of course, variables like last name, first name, email address in there, the description of that user, the user type if it's going to be a business user, and admin. I believe you can only import a user record which has an admin tagged as false. And you have here like the status, it just defaults to active anyways, and other information like, yep, under user information in there. So what I've done here, and as what you can see, the syntax are like shown as columns. So you can concatenate there. So once you've established those fields, so the arrangement of the columns in here is based on this documentation, from create, but you can actually, you have to start with function control ID, and from there you have create here, and user info login ID. So it will be easier basically to, so later on you can actually copy and paste this to the let's say when you try to generate the API, right? And you can concatenate them, all the fields there. So looking at this one here, I only have from A1 until AH1, concatenate them into such manner, and I copy and pasted just the value to a separate column in it, which is let me just have a look if I can do it now. Yep. Okay. So this is a column until column AH in there, right? AH in here, which is the formula, and I would just, you know, copy and maybe paste special in column AJ. So with just the value, just the record the value in there. All right. So once the values are displayed already or are already there, you can copy it. Okay, copy this one here, and I have Postman available in my um, in here. So in this session, let me just get rid of this first. So start from function in here, right? So I have copied it there, and I'm going to paste it here. So theoretically, you will have the two records that you're trying to create. So it's just copy and paste from Excel files. It's easier, right? Instead of manually typing them in this manner. But I'll just put all of these in columns and concatenate them all together after filling out the variables in there that we've highlighted in green earlier. And once the information are there, and we can just click on run. So before we do that, let me just refresh this user records in my demo instance. So we have 48 records at the moment, and Let me just establish the connection. So I'm using Postman just to demonstrate this one here. So success in there. So let me just go back to the create user copy. Okay, and just click on send, and let's see what's the result will be. Okay, so you'll see here it's a success, which is during this time, and I have two records here. So we have login ID API user 1 and API user 2 as well. We've identified through the Excel file, right? API user 1, API user 2, and success for both. Okay, and let's just double check in Intacct. And if I click on refresh, so from 48 records, we have 50 now. So we have this API user 1, which is great. It's there now, it's created for us, and API user 2, which is the second record that is from the Excel file that we moved along to the ABI and started executing it. And you can see that those user records are now there, and it was actually a success. So hopefully this demonstration helps. So yep, this is more relevant if we are trying to import or create more than more user records, and creating them manually is going to be very challenging. And now at least we have that API functionality to create the user records, and um, you can add roles later on with those users, either manually or through an API as well. But this demonstration focuses more on the ability and having that comfort that API actually supports creation of user records other than manually creating them. Thank you.